Some people are called geniuses because they changed one field. John Neumann changed so many fields that at some point, the word genius stops being useful. And honestly, that's what made this story weird for me. Because the deeper I went, the less he felt like a historical figure and the more he felt like someone who accidentally arrived decades too early. Computers, artificial intelligence, game theory, modern economics, nuclear strategy, the foundations of the digital world. His fingerprints are everywhere. And the unsettling part isn't that he was smart, it's that he seemed to understand where the world was heading long before everyone else. The strange thing is, we're still living inside some of his predictions. When I first started reading about Neumann, I expected another classic genius story, a brilliant mathematician, a few important discoveries, maybe some eccentric habits. Instead, I kept running into the same problem. Every time I thought I'd figured out what he was famous for, another field appeared. It genuinely started feeling ridiculous. How many areas can one person influence? And people who met him often described the same experience. They weren't just impressed, they were stunned. Even amongst some of the smartest scientists of the 20th century, Neumann stood out, which makes me wonder what it felt like to live inside a mind moving so fast. Because at a certain point, intelligence stops being a gift and starts becoming a kind of distance. Von Neumann was born in Budapest in 1903. From childhood, people noticed something unusual. He could memorize pages after reading them once, perform enormous calculations in his head, learn languages effortlessly. Adults treated him like a phenomenon. And when that happens early enough, your intelligence becomes your identity. Not something you have, something you are. This is where the story became uncomfortable for me. Because you see, we love stories about intelligence. But intelligence doesn't automatically lead to wisdom. World War II arrives. The world's brightest minds are suddenly working on weapons, military strategy, and technologies capable of changing history forever. And Neumann was right in the middle of it. He contributed to the Manhattan Project. He advised military planners. He helped shape nuclear strategy during one of the most dangerous periods in human history. And I kept finding myself stuck on the same question. What happens when someone becomes incredibly good at solving problems, but the problems themselves become terrifying? Because mathematics is neutral. Humans aren't. And history is full of moments where those two realities collide. The 20th century was becoming a world of systems. Governments wanted predictions, militaries wanted calculations, scientists wanted models, and von Neumann thrived in that environment. He believed complex systems could be understood, analyzed, and improved. Whether the system was a computer, an economy, or a military strategy. The modern age was becoming increasingly mathematical, and few people helped shape that transition more than he did. The thing that stayed with me most wasn't his intelligence. It was his obsession with the future. He kept thinking about machines that could process information, machines that could make decisions, machines that could imitate aspects of human thought. And I know that sounds normal now, but he was thinking about these ideas decades before most people took them seriously. Reading some of his work today feels oddly familiar, like he's standing somewhere in the background of every conversation we are currently having about AI. Not because he predicted anything, but because he saw where certain patterns were leading. And that's what makes him feel strangely modern. More than anything, von Neumann was fascinated by logic, by systems, by rules. His work on game theory explored how people make decisions when their interests collide. His computer architecture became the foundation for most modern computers. Again and again, he returned to the same question. Can complex behavior be understood through underlying rules? It's a question that still shapes technology today, and one we are arguably still trying to answer. Most historical figures stay in the past. Von Neumann doesn't. His ideas survived him. Every smartphone, every computer, every discussion about artificial intelligence, every algorithm quietly influencing modern life. Pieces of his thinking remained embedded in the world around us, invisible but everywhere. I think that's why this story lingered in my head. Not because John Neumann was smarter than everyone else, which he was, but because so much of modern life feels connected to questions he was already asking. Questions about technology, prediction, intelligence, power. And maybe that's the unsettling part. Most people leave behind accomplishments. Neumann left behind a future that arrived. And the strange thing is, we're still trying to figure out what to do with it.